Hello everyone, hello. I am pushing record this time. I am double checking, triple checking. Yes, all of my settings should look correct. It is recording. If you missed last week, I forgot to push record and I showed you a fully planned week. So hopefully that does not happen this time where any of the footage goes bye-bye or I forget to push record, but I remembered this time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Light a candle, pull up a chair, bring up your planning supplies, gather around. This is another week of fun times. Again, I'm super tired and I'm sorry. That's just kind of, let's see, this Wednesday will be 8 weeks out. Yeah. From my surgery, my hysterectomy. And so I'm like really thankful. Everything this last week has felt almost pretty much normal. I could tell I lifted like a basket of clothes and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm feeling that. I'm seeing why I shouldn't be lifting very much right now. But other than that, like when I notice I'm healing is when I'm able to start thinking about other things. When I see my shift focus from, okay, what is my body doing to, hey, let's get this thing done, then I know I'm feeling better. So, but I did have my infusion on, well, let's look at this past week. The one that you saw pretty much all planned. I did have my infusion on Monday and I'd forgotten like how much it just like takes a lot of energy out of me. Like my mind was there, but my body was just like slow. And these infusions are for my Crohn's and I did. So this is my health planner and I wanted to show how that was going. So this last week. I'm like, looking at capturing a lot of information here and I'm trying to see what is the most helpful. I also put it back in the plastic cover here. It's an A5 that I have folded. It's like this is the folded part. Anyway, I also noticed a couple other things. So my energy level was kind of from last week. I did draw it in coming in from last week because I thought it would be interesting to see like my energy level was really high because in my cycles I'm not really having right now. I was getting close to ovulation, which is just like my energy is really coming back. And then I just had my infusion, so it was lower. Now we had some kind of stress and then it went down a little bit. I could definitely feel that. I got a little extra rest, but then the last 2 days I've been waking up earlier to adjust. So I was thinking, my son's already getting up early. Like I think his body is adjusting from like, little kid into teen. And so you think, well, yeah, teens sleep more and he will. But as of right now, he's going from like that needing 10 hours to needing like 8 hours. And so we're kind of putting him to bed at like 10 to 11 and he's popping right up at between 5 and 7. And that's okay. So he's like, oh, I'm kind of already getting ready for school. And we're like, yeah, actually you are. So I realized I'm the problem. I'm the one who needs to slowly ramp up my, ramp down, ramp up, wake up earlier. And so now I'm looking at that as like some wake times here. I just kind of put them in sideways. And I went back through here and I'm slowly entering back in previous information. Now I don't have much through March. I might be able to put some of this from my phone, because the one I'm copying from started in April. So I'm going back from April and I spent some time during yeah, I was kind of testing this. I'm putting any, like if I only have information to here, I can only map here for my sleeping. And so there wasn't much here. So moving forward, I was tracking this. These are the main two things I was tracking before, which is sleep and water. And so I started putting these in and realizing, oh, it'd be really good to make sure I have the number of cups of water here. Yeah, 3 cups is not a lot, but this is a judgment-free zone. It is what it is. It's information that now I'm receiving back and going, oh, okay, I need to adjust. When I see everything together, it makes a whole lot more sense. And like putting the hours here, just in case these dots are kind of fuzzy, these are actual numbers. So I'm putting those in. I'm playing around with the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If I want a snack part here or not. I think one person did recommend highlighting my appointments here, and I think I will go back and do that. It's just that highlighting is permanent. So I wanted to see, but they definitely are not standing out here. Well, actually, I think she mentioned just highlighting the date that I had an appointment there, but I want to see what time of day it was. So I think I might highlight those. It's working because I really don't schedule more than 2, like especially health appointments back to back in one day. Like 2 is enough. So, yeah, but I had like lots of information here. I was copying these over and then I got to here. So I do have, you know, a few weeks to copy over, but I do like how I'm capturing more information here. So this was like this past weekend, did some outdoor things here. Yeah, I was putting down some numbers on this side. So sometimes the dots come over here. I'm trying to figure out, I love how I'm figuring things out here. So when I actually get my planners for next year, I'll kind of have the layout set. So if you see things kind of slowly move around, like this only has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I kind of like that a little bit better. And then I'm putting like my blood pressure here. And as you can see, it kind of went down and then back up. But then here, I just took it before I got on and it was really down. I've been doing daily walks. I started out with lower numbers here and then I erased it. And because I had put more steps in. Again, I am just getting back on my feet. So like 500 steps is a lot for me. And then I was doing 1,000 and then I did 3,000. So it's slowly going up. I'm at about 1K right now. And again, this is a 15-minute walk that I'm taking around the block because I'm like super tired right now. But I really was proud of that. I thought like, that's, you know, something I can do. That's something I can work on every time. And if you saw the card I picked last week here, was the moon. Let the moon light your walk. Embrace the rhythmic, the enchanted, and the wisdom it reveals. I've been taking moon walks all week and it has been perfect. Like for the first card for Wonder Walking here, and we'll get back into it. I loved having that. And then I also noticed that when I was putting in like the moon phases, it was copying from the Hobonichi, which actually inks it the opposite of what a lot of American and Australian. So what always bothered me, let's see if I can show an example of this last week. Let's see, August. Let's just take this week, for example, which is this last week. Okay. I'm getting this beginning of the month, like kind of confused here. So I have like full moon as an open circle. And I noticed that here too. Now they're a day ahead. So their full moon was on Wednesday, their Wednesday. And it's an open circle. And so I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I literally see when I walk in the sky. I see it as white. But when I was putting it all in for this planner, you see here, I filled it in because that is what is put into at least the Magic of Eye one I was working with and some other ones. That's why I sometimes get stickers and I put them all in my Moxie Life to actually show the moon. Like the representation is that this is full, so it's black. And then if you go back a couple weeks, the new moon is a circle. So I like it like the Hobonichi shows it, because that makes sense to me, because I see white in the sky and I see white here. So, or if it's a new moon, it's totally blacked out and it's like, it looks like this in the sky. Now I already went through and I did it all in here. Like this will be a new moon here. So I'll just have to keep that in mind. But I like how when I was showing the gradual changes here in the health planner, that it looked like it looked in the sky, like it made more sense to me. I did also have a question of why I'm tracking the moon. And I think that's a totally valid question. There are people here who have used the moon for a lot of tracking, and there are people here that it's totally new to them. And it can be confusing. Like I started from zero. I started from learning all about it and seeing if it applied to me. And that is the biggest thing. If it's something that, you know, you look up at the sky occasionally and just enjoy its beauty, do that, right? Like just do that. Enjoy what nature has brought to us. If you're like a little bit more connected, I just feel more connected, and I left a message about this for her, but I also was like, you know, there's a little bit more than that. I think for me, it helps to remind me to let things go. It can be physical things that I'm letting go, but it can also be ideas and like plans that I had that I just need to let go of. Because it, like, I have this running list in my head of like, oh, I could do all these things. And there's times where I just have to let those go. And to me, the moon cycles remind me to plant new seeds that are going to grow. So little baby steps can grow into things. Just like my walking right now, I'm like starting with 500 steps, then 1,000, then 3,000. And I don't know if I'll ever get to 10,000. It's, we'll see. It's not my immediate goal right now, and that's fine with me. I'm just seeing what I can do, what I can plant. And now that it's a full moon like this last week, what could I let go of? What ideas could I like really just go, you know what? I've been carrying this around. What can I just let go of? And I like that rhythmic cycle of being able to do that about every 2 weeks. Do I do it every time? No. You know, sometimes I write them all down and I burn them. I've done that just like a couple times. I think it's really symbolic of something that's like really big. And that can help. You don't have to be Wiccan. You don't have to have a religion to just invite some of these things into your life. And you also don't have to practice any of this to have a planner. So, I welcome questions. If you have any questions, please, I don't believe there's any kind of what's labeled as stupid or dumb questions. I believe all questions are valid. I laugh because that's a way of saying like everyone's valid here too, right? Your mind and your ideas and your questions are all valid. So please ask. It makes me think of like, well, why am I doing that? And so I loved having that question, because I was like, do I want to keep going with what I'm doing? Do I want to actually have my moon in my health planner at all? What is the purpose there? And I do feel like, not that it's telling the future, not that it's predicting too many things, because my cycle has never been exactly on with the moon. I think some people have. I think it still can get out of rhythm though, because, stress can throw off your cycle. And sometimes we have stressful points. And if then you're really worried about being back on the cycle of the moon, I think that stresses you out even more. Yeah, so that's the main thing. It's just more like, what are my plans? What am I inviting into my life? What am I letting go of my life? Yeah. And I love talking about that kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. Let's see, this last week. Oh, and then in here, I went back. So I had planned, let's see, I'm trying to think. I think this was my first time of planning both. It was the beginning of last month. But then I went back and I transferred all of my business and personal into here. So it went to here. I started out in pencil in here, and it was nice to go to pen so I could see things. It's a lot easier to see pencil in the Moxie Life, but in here you just cannot. So it was nice to get these all transferred over so that they're in here. I was color coding. I might have shown this last time, was that I got the previous months in here and color coding those, and then I have always put these little triangles in the corners of days off for my son. This was last school year, so this was like spring break, and they're sterling ink. So I was like, I had never used these corners in a sterling ink book before. And I was like, oh, look at that. It almost fits the grid. Basically it does. I think it just overlaps just a tiny bit, but I was like, oh, that's cool to actually use it in here. But I wanted to establish colors. I think I did show some of this. I got back to the other thing. I think moving forward is I put things in, like here, I will put things in for like an upcoming appointment, and then I check it off knowing that I went. But I don't like all the check marks in here. So I'm thinking, like, once I do it, I'll highlight it. I think that's what's going to happen. And it was really good to see that, because like last month, I just highlighted this infusion. That's the 31st, which is usually down here, but I just wanted to keep that bottom open. And so now I can go, okay, yeah, my son went to the dentist. Why don't I just start this going now? I was thinking, oh, I'll just do the rest of the months of the year here, and I'll talk about the ones in the back here. Because I can't remember if I talked about them or not, because I lost footage or just didn't hit record. So why don't I try it without the check marks? Because I can always add the check marks back in. Can't subtract them. It looks like it says no ants here. It's actually no antihistamines and that started today. I'm filming on the 4th here, and it's going to be a rough weekend. I have allergy tests on Monday, and I have pretty like year-round Allegra Flonase every day, and I'm just not looking forward to this weekend. So my son went to the dentist, so we're going to highlight that as done. And yeah, I don't see any other check marks. So let's try it because it's early in the month, and I'll only highlight things that are done. And so also for work, this is orange. I'm still establishing some of these highlighter colors as things. And so I've released my podcast there. And I feel like that's a whole lot cleaner than all these check marks I was using. But I wasn't highlighting. I was only putting, in my Moxie Life, I'd put a colored dot and then check that off, so I could see when the appointments are. That's the thing here, though, is that I see that there's therapy here, but then it's like a mix of school and things. Yeah, so I can't like see at a glance like this is all work, school, personal, and then that I have 2. Because if I just highlight these now, something may move, or I might not go for some reason. And then there's just this highlight there with nothing in it when I erase it. So we'll see. I also have a couple meds I'm going to be trying. There's one here and then one here that I need to get like a month's worth into my system before next month when I have some more blood tests. Yeah. So I'm working them both together. It's definitely these last 2 months here are the first ones completely in here. And then back here, I tried to create a fish because of, now I forgot to put my little indexer there. So I tried to replicate one of these fish here. I liked when it was just an orange. When I started outlining it, it turned blah. So I made this more of like impressionistic instead of, and then I just kind of like combined colors for a little lily pad there. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's about done. I loved these squiggle lines. And then I just put some of this tape on here. And then I went back to, this is today. I haven't transferred everything over. And I just did squiggles to kind of remind me of like a stream. And I wanted to keep it simple. I didn't need to go as full on, like I just needed the basics here. And so this will end here. And then I do have my reflections and actions there. And then the next week's, which I will be showing you guys soon. So I think that's about it. I am noting like some quick wake times there. I do like this down here. What also helped when I was putting in all these past weeks was seeing where do I want to keep a tracker. I think I want to put it more on this side. What else did I realize? Like these were lines for when my son was in school. Again, there's a lot of check marks going on, but I don't know when I've done them, if they're just on here, but we haven't, like, did we have nachos last night? Yes. Yes, we did. It's a confirmation. It's a conversation with myself. Did you? Yes. Did you? Yes. So, and I know other people have different methods for doing that. I'm not going to put highlights on the weeks at all because I don't count or do billing or anything on the weekly. It's the monthly that I look at for like, oh, how many therapy sessions were there? And it's just really easy to see. So that's that. So for this week, I have an inspiration photo. I know I mentioned I might use some stickers that were more from the Tool TUL line, and I thought it'd be very corporate person kind of going into the office every day, and I haven't done that for a long time because offices are hard for me to be in with the lighting and the sounds and the distractions of everybody. It's just really hard. But that will be coming. That will be coming because I think it'd be fun to do that. And maybe as it gets closer to school, it kind of feels like back to work, back to school a little bit. But for this, I wanted to have, I'll put the image up in the corner here. And I also have it, I'm staring at the screen. I have this as my desktop pattern. I have it as my phone background. And let me see if I can actually give the name of the person who did this. Because it's usually Rachel Zhao, I think. XIAO RACHEL. And it's on Pexels. And yeah, that one. Rachel Zhao, I believe. And I'll always link these below to give them credit. And I just loved all the amber tones of the lanterns that were hanging paired with kind of like that golden hour and like the walking. I think to me, this looks like Venice Beach, California, walking along the canals. Because I've walked there before, but this could also be in another country too. I'm not, I don't think they actually have. When I was looking up California, this is what came up. And I remember a white bridge like that along the canals there. So, but I don't remember so many little boats, but it's been over 10 years, probably 15 years since I went. So it definitely reminded me of those like manicured kind of, that you could walk right by these buildings, well, homes basically, that had some quirkiness to them, but also that kind of California, very cleaned up, lots of money, to have a house there, especially in that area. So I just love the combination with the greenery, and you don't really get to see the blue of the water at all. The water's just reflecting. So I picked out these colors. I think I'll do this one. This is a Laurel Denise one, along the bottom. But then there's also like this highlight, kind of golden ambery tone as well. But I also thought I'll probably use some of these neutrals. I also have a brown. This one's just called brown. But this is the neutral set. Because I also like these are kind of the tones of the clearer, lighter colored lanterns. I don't know. I think I'll play around with that. And I might even I was admiring that the lanterns were hanging from little loops. And I might even try to draw one. I don't know if I'll draw one here. We'll see. Let me get all this tape down and everything first. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I love this burnt orange type color. And I just realized I need... this is going to be a longer episode because I still haven't done my actions and I still haven't done other things. So, let's see. Do I want this all the way over? I might need that space. So, let's go from here. Excuse me. So how is everyone's week going? Like, was this a hard week? I would love to hear if you're having, like, are the summer weeks harder or easier for you? It depends. It depends what your work commitments are. It depends if you have kids in school, are they going back yet? There's like so many kids already like going back soon. We have a family friend who their kids are going back. Oh, I'm wondering if their youngest is going into kindergarten yet. I don't know. That would be a big step. I don't think so. I would say there's probably one more year. Actually, now that I'm counting it out, it might be the first year of kindergarten for them. They have an older son, but I don't know. That would be interesting. So now I have kind of limited room here. So, and I know I did that to myself. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this was just thicker. No, I just put it down because I had written here. Maybe I'll just track 4 things. Because to me, it's more important. Like, really, I'm tracking a lot of those things, sleep and water and stuff, over on my other ones. So maybe I'll just have it really just a couple things. The other thing I did on some of my earlier weeks is I did this. I had the names here, and then I just tracked them per day. It's a little harder to see the trends, but it worked. So I do want to put, like, I think this golden one up at the top here for 6 o'clock. I'm not going to be getting up at 6, but in my Google Cal, I was using yellow as kind of like a morning routine and an evening routine to kind of like, what's it called? Like block out those times, time blocks. They're called time blocks. Yeah, just to kind of give it that golden. And then I was going to use the green from the markers and see if that. So this is kind of like the sunlight coming in. I guess there's a line here on my washi there, but that's okay. It's cheaper washi. It's not the most expensive, which is right in my budget for right now. Yeah, I really like that. I have used this kind of orangey color with pink before. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And this was a different orange, although that seems really close to that, so I don't think I need that. I want to be getting up in like the 7 to 8 range. I've been getting up at 8:30, which is better than 10. Again, I've been healing. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I think I want to use, well, this is interesting because there's gray of the concrete. There is kind of neutrals of the tree trunk, and there's kind of the golden, like there's all sorts of these colors. And I think, I mean, I could use this for black. Okay, am I gonna get bold here? I think I like to put a little, trying to see here. I like the gray kind of being at the bottom. I think I will erase this. It's okay that it's one down, but I want to put some gray. What is this? Cool gray. I think I just want to have this down here because it's part of the palette. Yeah, it kind of brings in that cool, and then having like the green up here. So I know I'm like doing like photo inspiration, but I'm also doing like these colors will feel really good for like these routines and color. Well, it's hard to describe. It's like I want to bring these colors into my routines. I also want to get that a little closer. Like as I was saying, like this golden tone kind of just reminds me of getting up a little earlier, and we are having sunnier days and mornings. So it provides kind of like a shadow and depth, but it's also providing this color palette. Now those greens are a little darker. I don't know if I have a darker color, but I might use these browns in the side here, kind of like the tree trunk. And I'm just looking really quick. Do I have another green? Green, green, green. These are all, those won't work. No, not there anyway. Although, to me that's a lime green. I have the Moxie Light Green, which is a dark, but it bleeds through. Like this one is not bleeding through at all. Mild liners. There's just a lot more green I was kind of hoping to pop out. I guess I could use this. Would help bring a little bit. So because this photo is also kind of a nature walk, I'm going to go ahead and pick a card because I think I need to put the thing in the side and then see where everything has landed. So I have pulled these cards before, and sometimes they're a little hard to find on a walk, especially if I'm walking in the evenings. I'm not going to be able to see like flora and fauna and like animals and stuff. I did see a cat roaming around last night, but it's not like it's not quite the meaning of these cards. These cards are not like only walk at night. They're more for walking through the woods during the day or something, or along the coast, or if you have such things near you. But you can also find a lot of these, the beauty in just walking around your neighborhood. But nighttime is a little harder, is what I'm trying to say, because you're seeing stars in the sky, but you're not seeing like a sunset or clouds as much. You can see clouds. So let's see what I get here. This one is kind of stepping out here. Enchantment. As I read that upside down. So here's the card. I mean, look how beautiful that is. Enchantment. I don't know what that would fall under. It is... Where are you? Where are you? Oh, it's still like water. Okay. Slow down and reflect on all that enchants you in the outer world. What does it reveal about your spirit and soul? So slow down. That's a really good one. Let me put this over here so I can write. So let me get this written in here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Let's get that out of the way. Actually, I will put, and again, this is for a deck of Wonder Walking, which can be more kind of like an oracle card base, but this does use like the air, fire, water, and earth, and just calls them kind of different things. So I really do like that. That definitely applies, like slowing down. I think that's a cool thing. So let's use some brown now in the side. I think I want kind of a pretty big definition between these two. Like that. I could actually do like a really thin line up here. Yeah, that feels a little bit better to have that contained. And then I have some green, so I can put, I think I'll put them here. That is a really limey green here, but that's kind of how it is in the picture. I think I'm gonna put quite a few here. Kind of leave those open. And then I'm going to use like the darker one. Kind of the lighter one. Because that definitely feels like just one of the lanterns. This kind of has that glow to it. And then see what else I want to put like in this section here. Actually, I might stick a sticker down there. Okay. So I found these from September, I believe, of last year. That's why I love ordering like just one-offs. I don't have the subscription kits, but I love how this feels like a lantern. Here, I'll hold it up. I actually don't know. It's not the little lantern like the little pumpkin lanterns type ones that come out that you see around September, October. But it kind of feels like that. It feels like that has gone down to its like skeleton frame and then there's something in there. Someone can let me know what that is because I don't know. I want to put, this feels kind of like it's falling down over here, and I love the colors right there together. And I might leave this blank here, but since I'm covering sleep, I think it's time to transition like sleep and water out, although I do have this open, so I might leave water, work, school, and walk. I think we're going to take the sleep out of it. What's that? And I think, let's see, I might put a sticker here, so we'll just keep that open. And we'll have, kind of use this as the line. And have water, work, and then mom school, which I've been continuing doing. We just finished up a STEM kit, which was like a robot arm, and there is just a little bug in it, but like one of the gears isn't quite meshing up, but it's like built. We've been building it for the last month. Yeah, about a month. And he was like, I want to just keep going. I want to get it done today. So we did. It was very, very cool. So yeah, it feels good to have just the 4 there. Sometimes I put the ones at the bottom because I don't think I can notice them up here so much. So let's put Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yes, I do R's for Thursday because I get messed up with my T's. If I see 2 T's, sometimes it really messes me up. So here's to some cold coffee because iced coffee is good. I tried not to slurp too much there. Okay, so this does feel a little fall-like, but it's more golden hour. I'll try to see if I can invite more green. I feel like I have a darker green, and I think it's just that Moxie Life one. This green here, and I think it's just gonna be too much. Too much. Let's see, I think I have, is it August? No, it was May. May? Yeah. So May, yeah. I think it's that green that I'm thinking of, and it's not bleeding through too bad. So where can I put it? Let me try on the very top here. I just want to get a little bit more green in. Oop. Like that. Imperfection, right? It's not going to be perfect. So the 2 greens are kind of like together up there, but there's a lot of different like greens. Like you get the greens of the moss on the branch. You also get the pine needles, but you also get kind of the boxwood on the bottom. I could put just a little tiny line of green down at the bottom here. Let's try that. Oh, that's not much at all. Let's try the other side of it. Oh, there's no other side of the Moxie Life. Okay. Just this little tiny hint of green down here. And yeah, let's color it in. However, it's kind of like painting happy little clouds, right? Bob Ross style. Where it comes down a little bit because we're getting a little mossy in the corners. I don't know. I'm just enjoying myself. Oh, there is another side. See, I thought there was. It's a little messy. It's a little messy and it's hanging out. There. We'll just kind of have it come towards the middle. Just right there. Fun. Does it absolutely make sense? No. But I like it. It works. So, we don't have any like school activities this week because we're not doing that quite yet. So I have my allergy testing. I'll take my allergy pill right after. Get Ridwell packed up. I go to the dentist, which is right next to my kid's dentist who went last week, and they forgot to put the little no cavity slip in the box there. And so I'm going to take it in and do that. So that is, and then I have therapy, recycling, and the podcast. So some of my main things I want to get done this week. I did release a podcast last week, so I want to stay on that. Get my appointments done. I'm going to kind of like cheer after that. And wake times. Yeah, that's kind of like what I want to focus on, and then we'll see. Because I feel like there's something in here I need to do. So, if I go, I'm going to the wrong direction. Now we're going to go to the dailies. I think it'll be really interesting to fill out these dailies now with these colors and like some of these stickers. It'll be interesting. So, I want to look here, and this is where I'm checking in with my goals every week. And let's look at the reflections first. So, wins this week. I made the mistake of starting to read through these, and I'm getting my weeks confused already. Let's see. I did receive, so I bought one of these. I just wanted to show you this was kind of a win. It's a little Starry Night. It's a Midori. And I'm just keeping in the back to keep some important things that I'm working on. I just wanted to share that. That's all. Wins this week. My son getting up earlier, so I'll do that. I did give myself a little extra room this time. So, son getting up early. Oh, another win just happened today, right before I started recording, was mid question fixed. Again, these are out of my control. Wins are totally out of my control. I celebrate these because I'm like, oh, that's great. That's so great that happened. So what worked was my walks at night. So I take a walk and then I go and then I shower and then I get right into bed. And I have to say, I'm not up thinking very much. Like I'm falling asleep much quicker. I know a lot of people, it can jazz them up before bed and they're like, okay, let's go. I don't. This is something that really helps me. Like, I think I finish up some projects, write some things down, and then I go for my walk, and it just. And then sometimes I journal right after, just to like dump anything else out. But those are working. My 5-year journal I started. I had a thought about that. Was that I started writing in it with erasable pen, and then I'm like, if I get through 2.5 years and this accidentally gets in a hot car, I know that I haven't tried it, but I know that it can come back if you put it in a freezer. But I think I'm just going to use permanent pen in there because I'm not decorating. I'm not doing anything else. So I switched pens and I feel much better about it because I would rather mess up in there than, have something go wrong with the ink and lose content. So I know it could happen in here. Like I had the same thought of like transferring all this information into here, and then what if I'm thinking more of like, what if we move and it's a whole box of planners that is stuck in the heat? But well, we'll see. To me, a 5-year is much more important to have. What didn't work this week? The alarms I'm setting is not at the right time. Can I write alarms? This middle one's supposed to be an M. I think it's just I'm not getting enough sleep. Like if I look at my sleep tracker when I'm setting these alarms, I'm not allowing myself to actually have enough time. So for my lesson then, not enough sleep time. And then let's see. So earlier bedtime. Feelings, stress, but then also relief. Is stress a feeling? There is some happiness. Yes. That was another win of going on a shopping trip with one of my bestest friends. You know who you are. So shopping. We went around and we smelled all the smells. It's much like what I did last year. It was like going outside a lot. So a lot of the stores had all the doors open, and so it felt a lot safer. And because my immune system is low, and it was just fun to like smell all the scents and just take our time and just have fun. It was really lovely, really lovely. And then I went back to the same area with my son and husband the next day, and we had dinner out and just enjoyed the weather. So I'm just going to also put dinner here. And they were both just magical days, just really magical. So what worked? Getting out of the house. I think it also boosted my confidence a lot. Like I wasn't driving last week, and then I got out more, saw that my strength was stronger than I thought it was. I had kind of been extra careful the last week or so because it felt like I had backtracked a little bit, but having that success last weekend, and I drove on Sunday, and now I'm driving again. So a lot of times for hysterectomies, they say you can drive after like 2 weeks. But for me, I had a lot of reconstruction going on too. So I just let it heal even more. And yeah, it feels good that I took that time. It also feels good to now go, okay, I'm past that. What didn't work? Well, we're still on the job hunt. We're doing, and I say we because my husband and I are partners in this. He's been doing some more freelance stuff, so he's doing things, but there's 2 places he's really talking to that hopefully next week are going to get in contact with him. Lessons, patience. And also, this one bill I mentioned here about something needing to get fixed. There was a whole kind of back and forth on some things, and realizing that I didn't have the whole story. May not have whole story, because I realized in the situation that was happening, both myself and the other party were both getting kind of equally screwed by this. So it really helped to hear both sides. I just said I wish I had known a little bit more about what was going on, because it was just kind of silence. Because I know they were trying to figure it out, but still it would have helped so that I could have advocated for them too, so that the middleman that we were both dealing with, we could have both kind of urged them to do something different. Because I felt like we were triangulating every time. It's like we talk to one person, the other person's bad. When you talk to the other person's bad. I don't like that. So yeah, it was nice to get that it cleared up. We've been talking about it for kind of back and forth for 2 weeks, and I just got the email just now. It's all fixed. So earlier bedtime, earlier rise time. Sometimes those are different, right? Like, I can crank back the bedtime, but it still may not be enough, but I'm still going to be cranking back my rise time. I feel like there's something else that did not work. I don't know. I think I'll just leave that. So, getting back to the weekly actions then, so we can wrap this up. That is here. So, I'm going to put, you know what? I didn't have my therapy this week. So we'll definitely have it this next week. And I'll put it here. And then perfumes, oils. You know, I got a bunch of perfumes and now I'm just trying them out. So that'll be fun. And then I've been watching shows and then playing more music. Music kind of comes on and off. I don't play music in my home as often. And I just did that kind of this afternoon. I'm like, oh, I should do this more. I think especially when I can open up all the windows again. We don't have air conditioning. So here in Seattle, we can usually get by. Usually. We have had 107 here and put our little portable up, but it's still hard. It's still very hard. But just to have like next week after I do my allergy testing of just opening up the windows, taking my pill, opening up the windows, and then playing some music. That's going to be my reward. I can picture it now. I did work on my website. It didn't end up being the homepage. I had to... well, technically it's my current homepage. So I updated the pricing on it because I reestablished all of that. So I had been working on a lot of admin to restart everything and got emails sent out. And yeah, that was really good. So for work, I want to work on the actual homepage. I'll say that, actual homepage. But technically I did update my previous homepage. Still continuing on with mom school. And I'm gonna go in the order here, but also I may just add things on the end too. So right now I'm tracking sleep, water, and walks are my most important. My blood pressure, I only take it like twice a week because otherwise micromanaging is not great. I did pay bills. I paid off the surgery bill. We were kind of going back and forth on that. I overpaid, and so I'm waiting for money back on that. I was like, can I apply that? And they're like, no, we're two different systems. So I'm like, okay, fine. I I didn't take any more art down, and I would like to do the windows. It's just I can't do them this weekend with all the pollen out there. Unless I wore a mask. I have thought about, I will be wearing a mask for some things. Let's see. So I did do the new spreadsheet, but I need to finish that up. So I have a spreadsheet. It's a beautiful one that I purchased, and it's all coordinated for the whole year. Like everything is linked up and pre-populated, and so like if you change things here, then you'll see on your annual, that looks all cool. So I need to fully be in August. Pretty much July was all wrapped up. I don't think there's anything I think it's good. It's hard to get those like cutoff points when you have like purchases going on all the time, and so your end of the month numbers can differ than the ones that were in the spreadsheet, because it depends. To me, it just depends when you're paying off those things. So like if I buy something on a credit card on the 31st, but I pay for it in the next month, where do I want it? And that's just up to me. But I like to have like a clear delineation in all my spaces of what that end of the month number is, even if I'm like holding on to a couple things for the next month. Because then I can see it in my ledger, I can see it in the spreadsheet, and I can see it in my bank account, and like they all kind of match. So I know that's kind of the number. Because I love things to match. That's my neurodivergent side. There was something else. Oh, my business spreadsheet. I do kind of the same thing, but I need to get caught up with that. I am wondering, when things get a little better, of sharing some of those things. If any of you would be interested in talking kind of like financial stuff, because I know some of my business stuff I show, but I would love to show a little bit more of that. But I'm kind of restarting some things, and our regular financial stuff is off since my husband isn't working full time right now. But which I know is like normal for a lot of people. Just to show like, this is how I budget, because I need to see it in multiple places, but I also need to see how a running total and when things are being taken out. This is the one thing I haven't quite seen. Maybe YNAB does this. Maybe like I also use the Quicken Simplify, and they do show like these are the bills for the week. But what I do is I use another app that shows things being taken out, so I know at the end of that week what my balance is going into the next week. And so I can just say, okay, here's where the big bills come out, because we'll have more in our account there. And then this is when I pull from those. They're called sinking funds, but I just call them like mini savings accounts for the bills that aren't monthly. So the bi-monthly and once a year ones. So we pay every month into those, and then we subtract out of those the bigger bills. Like water is usually about $300 every other month. And so it's depositing into that account, and then, but seeing what the balances are, like I'm very particular that everything matches, like to the penny, that everything matches. So I know exactly where everything's at. But if you would be interested, let me know, because it's taken me a while to kind of set all this up. And I know a lot of people have a lot of budgeting things out there, but this is a little bit more, I guess it helps my dyslexia. It helps my ADHD to see it in multiple spaces and see it in multiple ways. So yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in it. I've been kind of, because I see what's upcoming and I see what's in the past, so there's really no surprises. I mean, we all have surprises of like, hey, here's a health bill that came out of nowhere, but for the most part, there's no surprises. Let's see. we have, there is one project I'm kind of wondering about, which is living room swap. We might be able to do that this weekend because the windows will be closed. I'm feeling better. It might be the weekend to do that. We're mainly moving around like our games and our magic cards and what our TV sits on. It's up a little high and it's hurting our necks a little bit. So like it's, you're not seeing it. If I go this way, you'll be able to see it. I guess it's about 8 or 9 inches, 8 inches this way. It's probably not 8 inches too high. It's probably like 5 inches too high. And so you just have this slight incline in your neck when you're watching. So we're thinking about swapping 2 pieces of furniture. That would be fun to do this weekend. It would feel really good to get that done. So I would like to put that, which includes taking down art. Or rearranging it. And then there's a bookcase there that we want to get rid of. I don't know if we'd actually put that bookcase anywhere else. I don't think so. So I think that's it for the weekly actions. Let me put some... Got my walks in there. Okay, I feel like a dog. I'm getting my walks in. And then maybe at the very end, I might try to... I don't know. When I draw things, it helps a whole lot to kind of be off camera. I keep thinking about it because I have this black pen in here. And it has kind of a fine tip. But so does my other one that I can erase. So... that was mainly to write on stickers. That pen was. Let me get these. Oh, mom's school here. Doing some other things for school upcoming soon. Like back to school shopping and stuff like that is not this next week. Actual homepage. I like that. I really do. Have some fun while I'm doing that. And then during walks, I'm going to put this here and do enchantment. Just going to put it there because it's associated with that. And this beautiful card. Okay. I might fill that in. I may not. I think that's about it. See if I can get back to my week here. Here. I'm not sure how this green looks at the top now, but you know, I could go over it in brown. Yeah. This is okay. This feels kind of like there is along the walkway on the bottom, there is just like some greenery that's kind of at the edge there. It looks like somebody trimmed back, but then there's just some stuff there because that's what nature does. I'm not sure about this bright green at the top. I mean, it's the same green. I'll think about it. You'll see it next week. You'll see if I make some modifications and what I write in those. I think, oh, the last thing, recycling's here, Ridwell's here, and then Smith is what we get delivered, and then here, check Smith. I just want to get those in there because that's what I was remembering from the past of like having those in there. So since it's recycling, it's Ridwell. Okay. Because I was thinking, are we having our lawn mowed? No. I kind of want to have a line, a little mini line there because it feels better. Okay. Well, you'll see if I have a different color at the top next week, because on camera, it doesn't look as great. Do I want to change it now? Do I want it to be this brown? I think I do. I think I like this green better. I'm just going to do it now because it's bothering me. Okay, brown. Let's see what happens when we go over this. Oh, it looks kind of like a tree. Got a lump here. It's better. You may say, what's going on? But to me, it's a little better. Let's see if I can go over it one more time up top here. To me, it's more like the branch now. And then, and yeah, it can be a little wavy. Cover up most of it. And then, like, this is what I was thinking of, just having like little loops. Because I have a lantern kind of like this. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting my Brave on here. Oh, that didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to, but that's okay. Let's see. Have it continue out here and maybe just do a line there. It's kind of coming back together here. And then kind of have some kind of like little thing there. It's like I wasn't looking at the picture exactly when I was doing it, but it was just kind of like what's in my mind's eye. It's a little darker at the top here where it's connected. I like that. I might draw a little bit more, who knows, in the other pages, but that's kind of what I'd like to do. Now, would this color here look good in there? It's the clear one. So, but I kind of want it to glow a little bit. Now this is the permanent part, is if I use one of these. So if I put it kind of tan, but if I have it just glow a little bit, it may not be enough. I don't have the orange. Do I? Not really. So let me kind of fill this in. Just like that. And I'm going to live with it like that. It's kind of, to me, it has, like I didn't completely fill it in, but I was thinking like when the edge, this is not that complicated. When the edge kind of, I don't know if you can get it that close. When the sun filters through that, sometimes it takes on a golden hue, but it's not the glass itself that's colored. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. And if I make a couple other lanterns and then put them on the following pages, perfect. So I'm going to leave it like that. And thank you for joining me, everyone. And I know this was a long one, but it's kind of fun to kind of bring in elements of the image. Also, my husband made a really cute subscribe button that is on the screen now. Here or here, I'm not sure where I'm putting it. Please like and subscribe on this way out. If you want to get notifications when these go live. You can hit the little bell. Yeah, he made that for me. So, and it's going to match my upcoming website. So I better get that up soon, right? Work on that homepage, get that done. And now I'm feeling up to it. So very much looking forward to this next week and getting past the allergy testing and my dentist, and then just having like, I think there's something special. It feels like something special is going to happen that week. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next week. Bye.